We've had quite the reaction, by the way, to our chat on last Friday's show about the Notorious one.
But as usual, like the national media, kind of point at it being fakery.
OTT fakery.
Fakery?
Fakery is the word I'm using. So it's fake?
Well, I wouldn't call it fake.
That it's over the top. It isn't real.
OTT.
It's manufactured. I personally, my phone went crazy.
Like as though you look back at Conor before the Eddie Alvarez fight. He was loud. He was braggadocious. He was colorful. He was the same thing. I mean, this is no different. Sometimes he turns it up a little here and there, but this is what we've come to expect from Conor. I think the Irish people sometimes, and I don't obviously live in Ireland. I've only been there once. But I have friends who live there, and I work with Peter Carroll, or I used to work with him, and he tells me a lot about what goes on over there. And I think that sometimes the Irish people are too critical of Conor, and they want him to be a certain way. He is who he is. And I know that there's a certain sort of, standard, and you need to be a role model. But let's not forget, at the end of the day, all's fair in love and fight promotion.
He is who he is, says Ariel Halwani, that is for sure, and he's an asshole. That's the way this thing works. We've had some reaction on to our segment last week when Niall McGrath dropped in to have a bit of a conversation about the MMA and the UFC, and I suppose specifically, to be fair, Conor McGregor, which is what I was kind of referring to. And our viewers and our listeners were engaged.
Were they?
By the entire proceedings.
Right.
And they felt so engaged, they decided to get in touch over the preceding 48 hours. Here's a bit of a flavour of how they got in touch with us. Here's our first comment. This is from @IrishBaggy. This was on Twitter, who says, "It's just classic Irish upper middle class elitist snobbery." I'm not sure what exact sect upper middle class sits in. Same people, he says, that wouldn't be caught dead watching a soccer, because it's just for gurriers.
Have you ever watched the soccer before?
Sometimes I occasionally would watch a soccer. I'm actually quite fond of watching a soccer. I probably might not watch too much of a soccer this weekend with the Ryder Cup on. I won't lie to you.
Your favourite team is probably PSG. Let's just have a look at another comment. Henry Burke says, "Jesus, that was annoying, Niall." Annoying Niall, I should say.
Niall.
Not you, but who's Adrian Barry. There's enough fans in Ireland willing to listen to analysis rather than having to justify Conor's existence or the sport's existence in conversation with a person who has zero interest in the sport. You probably do have zero interest in the sport, do you?
See, the point to make here is that I made no comment on the sport whatsoever.
Okay.
I made no comment on the sport at all, is just a sort of a key observation.
I should probably
at this
watch
stage.
the piece.
You probably should have done.
Before
you probably
I cast aspersions. But I'm going to guess here, and I'm probably going to be right most of the time.
Next comment for you. This is from Top Keck. Looks as though it's coming through on the old YouTube there. This guy has no understanding of psychological warfare. That's true.
You definitely don't, though.
It's true.
Well, I think you've wound up enough people in the studio to have a great understanding of psychological warfare, is what I would say. Let's have a look at another comment. YouTube as well. Poetic Savage 6 days ago says, "Fakery," laughing emoji. "Everything he said can be backed up by real facts. This guy's a journalist. Do 5 minutes of research before you open your mouth, lol."
That was savage poetry.
It was savage poetry, yeah. You got ruined there, Adrian.
Next comment. Owen Doherty's been in touch. He says, "Fakery is the term I'm using and I'm sticking to it. The attitude is probably why that guy is stuck watching grown men kick a ball around the field. Why is he on that desk?" I don't fully follow all of that. No, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm assuming it's a pop at me, is it?
Yeah, why are you on the desk? The fact that, as I say, I haven't watched the video back, but the fact that you were on the desk in the first place, probably,
I shouldn't have sat in the desk. That I know, I will accept that was a mistake.
Stupid thing to do. Let's have a look at the next comment. This is Flower Huss saying, "Why does it have to be fakery? Have you never heard of selling a fight before? This automatic negative stance on anything to do with McGregor or MMA is so tired and overdone. It's like instead of doing any research and educating yourself on the sport, you just decide it's easier to take the nice, cozy stance of not liking Conor or the sport. Respect the sport of MMA and maybe you'll start to understand a bit of why Conor does what he does. Pure lazy journalism, lads." So he's implicating Niall in this as well. He said lads.
I mean, that's just, I'm fine with being implicated in it. That's outrageous.
To implicate Niall?
Niall knows his stuff.
He does know his stuff.
And that's why we brought him in to have a chat about it.
Yeah.
And have
an argument about it.
No, after both sides of the discussion, which is what we did. All right, next up we had Graham Thorpe. That presenter is an absolute clown. No inarguable point. Next.
Next one is Cesar Torres. "I don't know enough about MMA," quoting Adrian Barry. Why do they have this moron talking about a game he does not understand with his stupid pressed shirt? Have him comment and curling. Maybe he can do a better job. That's class. I love you, Cesar Torres. That is the best comment
I can't remember what
I've seen.
shirt I was wearing last week.
It was clearly stupid and pressed. I don't know if the one you're wearing
Those
now
things
is
always
stupid
go
and pressed.
hand in hand.
Well, if it's
It's not a
pressed.
bad shirt. I mean, what's pressed? Does that just mean ironed?
Yeah, I presume Cesar Torres is just from America.
Ah, right. So I just shouldn't iron my shirts is kind of what's been said. Neil Donaghy, that gammon on the left needs to wake up and stop masquerading his hate.
Is gammon a complimentary term?
I mean, I can only associate that with ham.
Yeah, same. Like I presume in the content, the perceived tone there, I don't think it's a compliment, but who knows? Maybe it was a nice thing to say.
That's this week's constructive criticisms corner.
What have you taken from it?
Good work. Don't leave me hanging. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that really sums up the segment we've just done, Adrian, to be quite honest with you.
Good work. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh, sorry.
Right. Anyway, look, we are very keen to hear from people. Like it's absolutely fine. Get in touch. Like, try not to sort of misrepresent what went on.
Nobody
I suppose is kind of
misrepresents
the
you,
thing.
Adrian.
I do find that I'm doubling down now, and I do appreciate that before I make this comment. But I do find that with fans of Conor McGregor, and I'll make it abundantly clear. Fans of Conor McGregor, as opposed to fans of the MMA or fans of MMA or fans of the UFC, it's fans of Conor McGregor. That's really the point here. That you literally cannot say anything that isn't endorsing what a superstar Conor McGregor is without them getting outraged. They remind me of Donald Trump supporters.
Really?
Yeah, there's literally nothing that the guy can do that isn't fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I guess that kind of comes in line with being a supporter, though, doesn't it?
Ah, yeah, but I mean, you can't be blind to certain things, you know. Like no matter how much of a diehard fan you are, you can't be blind to certain things.
No,
That'd be
true.
my take.
That would be.
And
kind of a
also,
balance stick.
like, you know, it's not a huge amount of measured reaction generally to criticism of Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
it's like you're an asshole. You know nothing about the sport. You're being negative. It's Irish begrudgery. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I do wonder though how many of those big McGregor fans have been McGregor fans from the very start. And once you see something grow to such a stratospheric level, it's very hard to let go of that thing. And I think there needs to be maybe a tad more sympathy for that sort of point of view. That, you know, it's this thing that you've clung on to for quite some time. And like if I was supporting somebody who had come from the bottom, like to quote Drake, started at the bottom, now he's there, like that would be something that I would find very, very hard to let go of, no matter what was said or done, or what was the sort of perception of him as a character. So,
no matter what he does, at some point or another, he starts to do stuff that you go, "Ah, well, that's not why I started following this."
Maybe, but it certainly makes it a lot harder considering you've been there from the start. You know,
You a Conor McGregor hipster?
I wouldn't consider myself a Conor McGregor hipster. No,